Hello world, it's Nikki Sunshine here, and today I'm here to talk about a common dynamic that I see in relationship. And so as a coach, I've seen this dynamic again and again, and so I decided to give it a name and tell you about it. Today I want to talk about what I call the you go first dynamic. This is a dynamic I see in partnership. So this is when two people are in relationship or partnership together. And quite often, the folks I see in this dynamic are in what I would call phase 2 of relationships. So if you're unfamiliar with my phases of relationship and you want to know more, drop a comment letting me know and maybe I'll make a video about that. So, two people in partnership, typically in phase 2 of relationship, and this dynamic comes alive, and it's called the you go first dynamic. So, both partners are trying to give each other the key to my heart, the key to loving me. If you can only do this thing, trust me, I will be the best partner ever. But both partners are trying to share this with the other one at this time. And so both partners are somewhat postured in a position of protection, defensiveness, and mistrust. So if you do know about my phases of relationship, you know that phase 2 is a lot of that. We're learning how my shadow and your shadow work together. And we're figuring out the dynamics of my insecurities and your insecurities and how those play into one another. And we're figuring out how to create agreements and compromises so that we can show up for one another, given who we really are. So it's this kind of messy detangling and re-putting back together. It's kind of what phase 2 is about. And so both partners in this dynamic, this you go first dynamic, are kind of positioned. We've both had the experience in this relationship of feeling unseen, unmet in our needs. And so we're both coming from a place of, all right, I'm a little defensive. You haven't showed up for me in the past, but I'm willing to give you another chance, but this is what you have to do. Prove to me that you can do it. Come on, show me you can do it, right? But again, we're both doing this, so we're kind of stuck. Because I'm saying, you go first, partner, and my partner's saying, no, you go first. So in order to ground this down, I'm going to give you guys, as usual, an example from my own partnership to sort of solidify this. Because there was a time when Warren and I were caught in this dynamic for a few months. So there was a point in our relationship where Warren wanted to feel more supported in his decisions and his freedom. And so he wanted to feel more supported if, let's say, he had to stay late. He decided he wanted to stay late at the lab and have a late night at work. He wanted to feel supported in that. Or let's say he wanted to go into town to meet up with a girlfriend and grab dinner and have an intimate night with them. He wanted to feel supported in that. So he's like, please just support me. Like when I say these things, don't take it personally and know that I love you. And please support me in these decisions. I really need that from you. Now, at the same time, I was saying, word, cool, yeah, I can do that, but I need to feel nourished in our relationship, and then I can support you, no problem. So I was telling him, I need you to give me more touch, more affection, more loving words, even if it's coming up to me in the morning and grabbing my hips and pulling me in and saying, I love you, baby, have a great day. Little things like that. If you do those regularly, Warren, man, I will support you so hard because then I'll feel nourished. I'll feel like you're babe, you're number one. And then I'm like, go connect with other people. I feel so nourished by our dynamic that I can support you. So we were stuck because he was like, okay, cool. I will do that for you, but first I need you to support me in my decisions. And I'm like, cool, I will support you in your decisions, but first I really need you to show me more daily affection so that I can have the bandwidth to support you. This is the you go first dynamic, right? I'm scared to do the thing you're asking, Because what if I do it and I use my energy to actually change my behavior, but then nothing's different? So what if, in my example, what if, Warren, I start supporting you and I say, have a great dinner with that friend, or sure, work late at the lab for the 3rd time this week. That's totally fine with me. What if I do that and then you still don't give me more affection, more attention, all the things I really need? Well, then I'm going to feel like, damn, I just put myself out there and you didn't meet me. And so I'm going to feel vulnerable and like I got used or betrayed. And so I'm scared. I'm scared to step forward and just start supporting you. I want you to go first. I want you to give me more affection first, partner, and then I'll support you. Do you see how easy it is to get stuck here? So, because it's so easy to get stuck here, I wanted to first of all just bring this dynamic to light. This is the you go first dynamic. Maybe you're recognizing this dynamic in your own relationship. I'll say I've seen this in many different forms of relationship, but the partner dynamic or the partner relationship is the most common, and the second most common is in our relationships with our parents. I'll come home and have a nice Thanksgiving with the family once you finally tell me how much you validate and accept and approve my life decisions, Mom and Dad. Is that familiar to anyone? It's you go first. It's the same dynamic. So eventually there has to be a break in the standoff. And eventually there will be. And that break can look a lot of different ways, right? So if Warren and I had stayed in that you go first standoff for long enough, we might have eventually broken the standoff in just breaking up completely. We might have said, all right, fuck it. It's been months. You aren't supporting me. You're not nourishing me. And so, none of us have gotten what we wanted. And we're both feeling defensive. So maybe we would have just ended the relationship. And so if you don't want to simply wait for this standoff to hit its breaking point and then let that be the manifestation of how this ends, there's another option. And that is surrendered-based trust. So how do you get out of a you go first dynamic with someone? You access your surrendered-based trust. Now, if you don't know what that is, I have a whole IGTV video on it, so go ahead and listen. It's one of the last few. So this is, again, that trust in life, that trust in my path, trust in this moment, whatever that looks like, even if it hurts, right? So if I'm living in my surrendered-based trust and my partner says, Nikki, I need you to support me in my decisions and my freedom and my late nights at work and my social interactions, I need you to trust me in that. And when I feel, or support me in that, and when I feel supported by you in that, it will be easy for me to show up for you and give you more back rubs and kisses and words of affirmation. When I hear that from my partner, I can tap into my surrender-based trust and say, okay, does it feel in alignment to step up in the way he's asking me to step up? So does it feel in alignment to learn to support my partner's need for space and his own time, or his time with his separateness? Does it feel in alignment to support his separateness? Yes, it does. That feels like growth to me. Because, of course, there's nothing wrong with you needing to cancel our plans to go see someone else or stay at work late. No big deal. So, yes, this feels in alignment for me. And so then I know that no matter what happens, this is a good decision. It feels in alignment for me to step up in the way you're asking, partner. And so I'm going to do that. Trusting that in doing this, I'm going to become a more aligned, authentic version of who I am. And therefore, I'm going to attract more aligned opportunities, relationships, experiences. I trust that. So I'm going to show up for you in this way, not because I expect that you're going to do exactly what I hope you will do if I do show up for you, but because I trust life. And I trust this decision, and I trust this calling forward. That is how you get out of a you go first, standstill dynamic. All right, I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you soon.